Well, my name is Tim Schaefer. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, and thank you for being here today in East Bradford Township for the ceremonial opening of a launch that's already being used, but it's also symbolic of what we're doing across Pennsylvania and across the Delaware River Watershed. We're going to have a number of speakers here today. I know Senator Committee needs to go on the road about 1:30, so we'll have her go first. But before we go through the remarks, just to put this within context, Pennsylvania has about 86,000 miles of flowing water, about 1 million anglers, about 3 million boaters across Pennsylvania, and everywhere, in particular since the pandemic. I mean, I can only imagine what this looks like on a Saturday or Sunday. Everywhere you go, you find public assets, community parks, borough parks, conservancy properties that are just overrun in a good way with unpowered boats. And so we brought back our boating facility grant program a couple years ago, and we're really delighted today to announce another grant round of boating facility grants. This program, or this facility that John will talk about, was a beneficiary of it. What these are grants that we put out to either anybody who has property along a body of water, and please note, it can be a lake as well. So if there's a county park that has some boating infrastructure that needs to get improved, lake, river, stream, these grants are designed to get people to the water. So think of everything from up at the road the whole way down to the ramp. So if you need better parking area, if you need trail improvement to once you get down to the water, if the ramp itself needs work, design, and as Grant will tell you, we're really flexible. Sometimes you got an idea for a project that doesn't work out. That's cool. We can shift gears and maybe help to hit another site. Design, engineering, acquisition, ADA accessibility, aquatic invasive species prevention and transmission. So any of those costs are eligible through the grant program. And we're just unbelievably excited. You may have heard last week there was a major grant announcement down in Wilmington, Delaware, by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Our agency, thanks to the good work of the township and Brandywine as supporters, we received a $1 million grant, literally, for public access in the Delaware River Watershed. So we're going to thank you. We're going to have more resources than ever to invest in boating access. So we want to hear from you. I'll introduce our staff at the end that you can talk to at the end of the presentation for more information about the grants. But it's a big day. Thank you for being here. We don't oftentimes get to celebrate something like this, and we're just happy that so many people came out on a blisteringly hot day. So with that, and before I do anything, I'm gonna recognize the most important person here, and the legislators probably kick me for saying that, but it's our Eagle Scout. So we have Adam Ponser here. Adam, if you could stand up, please. Adam, if you could tell us a little bit about, I know this is off script, it wasn't even listed here, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. If you want to come up and tell us a little bit about your project and what it really adds to the site here, please.
Sure. So for my Eagle project, about 2 years ago at this point, I contacted Mr. Pfeiffer with the township wondering if he had any Eagle projects needed to be done. And this was about the time that they had started moving forwards with starting this project, and he's like, so, we have this boat launch. Can you build it? That's not really an Eagle project. But I can build a kiosk for it.
Come on.
So instead I said, how about I build a kiosk? I got the idea for it out by near where my father lives in central Pennsylvania, the Rails to Trails program. They have kiosks similar to this one. And I kind of borrowed some design elements from it and proposed it to the township. An important part of it was because of how much it floods here, it needs to be very flood resistant, so it's very flood resistant. Along with that, it has a very nice, not floaty away metal sign that's secured, hopefully, very well to it. I'd just like to thank the township for giving me the opportunity to give back to the community and giving me the opportunity to do my Eagle Scout project really close to where I live.
Great. Thanks, Adam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Does that your mom with you?
Yes.
So let me just say that what you just did there shows that you're ready. And I always tell kids it's so important to be able to be comfortable with public speaking. So hats off to you for jumping into action with no notice. So nice job. With that, we'll ask State Senator Carolyn Committee to please join us up here, please. You bet. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Shaw's Bridge Park in the 19th Senatorial District. I am so delighted that you're here today, and what an exciting celebration of another wonderful opportunity for our residents to access the beauty of Chester County here along the Brandywine. I want to again thank Tim Schaefer of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. I want to thank my friend, East Bradford Township Supervisor John Snook, and a big shout out to the East Bradford supervisors of today and many decades really before, for your efforts, their efforts to conserve and protect a lot of open space and public access for people to enjoy and recreate here in East Bradford and Chester County. Also, a big shout out and a hello to my friend and legislative colleague, State Rep Chris Pielli, and of course our land preservation partners, the Brandywine Conservancy and Natural Lands. Chester County, as we know, is home to dozens of exceptional value and high-quality waterways, considered among the cleanest in the Commonwealth. Streams like the East Branch of the Brandywine Creek are protected thanks to supervisors and residents here in Chester County, like East Bradford, and they are protected and prized for contributions to our local ecology, including fish and aquatic life, opportunities for outdoor recreation like fishing, canoeing, kayaking. We have the kayaks right here. I wish I could stay and be the first one in there, even though I'm dressed in white. I said, had I known there were kayaks involved, I would have selected a different wardrobe. I hope some of you get to hop in. And they are also prized as vital support for our public water supply. As Minority Chair of the Senate Environmental Resources and Energy Committee, I continue to strive to safeguard our water resources and our natural treasures, including working to reduce runoff and other pollutants. One of the best ways that we can continue to educate residents about the value of our water resources is ensuring they are open and accessible for all of the public to enjoy. Shaw's Bridge Park is a perfect example of that. It's one of the township's most popular outdoor recreation areas. Just a short ride from downtown Westchester, the area is an oasis of natural beauty and wildlife along the Brandywine. People love it. Throughout the summer, visitors and families are here walking their dogs, they're fishing, boating, tubing, bird watching, or just enjoying an evening sunset. The benefits of outdoor recreation are numerous, as you know. They positively impact our health and our well-being by helping clear the mind, engage our senses, and get our bodies moving. They contribute to our economy. Outdoor recreation generates $13.6 billion with a B for the Commonwealth's economy and accounts for more than 151,000 jobs statewide. On a side note, I'm also thrilled that this year Pennsylvania is launching an Office of Outdoor Recreation to help promote our state's natural wonders and to take full advantage of the economic opportunities that recreation can provide. So again, thank you, each of you, to all of our friends for joining us today. I also want to give another shout out to our Eagle Scout This is beautiful, very well done, and you know, a sign should give you an idea of what it is that you are about to experience or can expect, and Red Canoes says it all. So thank you so much for all of your efforts and for creating a really beautiful gateway to the Shaw's Bridge Park. Thank you also to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission for your work through the Boating Facility Grant Program, which has made important improvements in so many places, including right here in Shaw's Bridge Park. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
So when I was driving to the grant announcement last week in Wellington on the Turnpike, there was a billboard, you guys may have seen it, says "Do work that matters." And I was driving too fast, probably a speed limit, but I didn't get a chance to really see who it was for. But the billboard said "Do work that matters," and this is work that matters. And I can tell you that Senator Comita, Representative Pielli, with the roles that they play on the Environmental Resources Committee, Representative Pielli with the Game and Fisheries Committee, they are right in the middle of making sure that we're doing good work in Harrisburg on behalf of the natural resources of Pennsylvania. So thank you for everything you do on behalf of the waterways. Next will be Representative Chris Pielli. As I'm sure you are all familiar with here locally, he just told me today this is new to your district, but clearly embracing it, and we're happy to have him here today to say some remarks as well. So, Representative Pielli.
Thank you very much. Hi, folks. Thanks for coming out today. I just want to give thanks to everyone who helped pull this together. It was a team effort. Special thanks to Adam. You're an exceptional young man. That's a wonderful piece of work there. Greatly appreciated. East Bradford Township, I see Mandy Caitlin, the township manager out there, and Mr. Snook and all the other township supervisors. Thank you for the part that you've played, the very important part, in making East Bradford the special place that it is. Tim and all of the good folks at the Fish and Boat Commission, I thank you, along with the Brandywine Conservancy and Land Trusts. And also, now that I'm giving thanks, I do want to thank redistricting, because redistricting brought East Bradford in. And I remember looking at the map the first time I was with my wife, and I said, oh my gosh, and this district is going to be East Bradford. And I can't tell you how proud I am to represent you. This has to be one of the best places to live, not only in the Commonwealth, but also in the nation. I firmly believe that. So thank you for all that you do. And I will try to do my part to help continue that fantastic trend. So on a hot day like today, waters like the Brandywine Creek can provide a much needed respite from heat. Today would be a perfect day, as we all see, to come to Shaw's Bridge Park to fish or to boat on the scenic river, this historic river. Now with the construction of the new concrete boat launch funded through the Boating Facility Grant Program, these activities are more accessible than ever. Outdoor recreation, you heard the good senator speak about how much money is generated, how many jobs are generated from outdoor recreation here in Pennsylvania. Right here in this area, too, has a large part to do with that. It's vital, though, besides the monetary value. It really is vital for the quality of life, a healthy life. And we're lucky to live in a state that's so abundant with lakes and rivers. The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission strives to provide all Pennsylvanians with access to fishing and boating opportunities. They protect, conserve, and enhance our aquatic resources, such as the Brandywine River. I'm proud to say that Shaw's Bridge Park received a grant of $40,000 from the Fish and Boat Commission for this project. As you heard, there's more opportunities in the future, thanks to Tim's hard work and others. By allowing for the construction of this new concrete boat launch, it not only has made access to the creek easier, but it will also improve the stream bank stabilization. It does prevent erosion, so it serves another great purpose. So the loss of soil will be protected, and the natural habitats, too, around it. I'm glad to see so much support for Shaw's Bridge Park and this project from our community partners. We as local officials want to do everything that we can do to promote outdoor recreation in Chester County. This truly is one of the greatest places to live in the country. We're truly blessed, but we have to keep working at it. We can't take it for granted. And again, I thank everyone who does their part in doing that. Thank you so much, folks.
Thanks, Representative Pielli. A lot of talk about the township, East Bradford Township, well-deserved accolades for what they've done here. We're going to have John Snook, who's a township supervisor, step up now and tell us a little bit about what you're looking at and what you can seek to enjoy here in the township.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Senator Comita and Representative Pielli, for coming and for your kind remarks. We are very grateful to Tim Schaefer and the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission to enable this project. This project, right there, plus Adams more recently, was completed just last year. And it's part of the Fish and Boat Commission's statewide public access grant program. I also want to give a lot of credit to Rich Pfeiffer, our Township Property and Recreation Director, who really did the work to get the grants and gather all the partners who are represented here today. This new launch is the first branded trailhead or access point to the designated Brandywine Creek Water Trail, which is a program of the Brandywine Conservancy, and Sarah Sharp, who's here, has been a key worker in that, along with Grant DaCosta. The Conservancy also benefited and put in yet another partner in using funds from the William Penn Foundation. This new launch is designed to help promote water safety, and as Representative Pielli said, also environmental safety, in the sense of a year or so ago, people would come to this spot and others all along here and plow down into the creek, and it was eroding the banks. This is a hot Wednesday in September. On any Saturday or Sunday in the summer, this park is thronged with people, and that water is thronged with people, many of whom come from far beyond East Bradford, but this is their water access. We're very happy that our program of open space and trails is recognized and appreciated by residents, for example, of Westchester Borough, only about 2 miles from here, and Downingham Borough, only a few miles the other direction, the northern direction. So this was accomplished, again, thanks to Rich's organization and also Mandy Cantlin, our township manager, through a significant partnership effort. As I mentioned, the Brandywine Conservancy and the William Penn Foundation, Eagle Scout Adam Ponsner for his great canoe launch informational kiosk, Natural Lands and its Green Regions program, which also contributed funds, and Estelle Windolan will present from Natural Lands. Also, not mentioned yet, the Brandywine Red Clay Alliance for spearheading the removal of the compromised Cabin Club Dam downstream, which affected the water flow here. Unfortunately, the removal for many people reduced the flow, lowered the flow, but it's improved it from an environmental perspective. And Brian Winslow is here from Brandywine Red Clay. And then, of course, I can't forget to thank township staff, volunteers. We have a couple members of our Parks Board here today, committees, and our Public Works Department, who did the final work to get it in place. We believe that this project has resulted in a great new asset and amenity for East Bradford, and is a project we hope can be a model for further projects along the Brandywine Creek Water Trail. I'd also like one more comment to note. As Tim Schaefer noted last week in Wilmington, Pennsylvania Fish and Wildlife Commission has received funds to contribute to more projects like this. And we, East Bradford Township, at that same meeting, were formally awarded $250,000 for our Plum Run Greenway Trail project, which eventually may come almost to here, but the first leg of which is partially there now, will go from Westchester University down to Strode's Mill along the Plum Run, which is a tributary to the Brandywine. So thank you all for coming. If it weren't a hot Wednesday, I think we'd probably have more people, but it's easier to enjoy the view. Thank you.
I think one thing you're hearing through the remarks is just the term relevance. This is making water quality relevant to the residents of Pennsylvania. When we were at the event in Delaware, I made the point, Pennsylvania's a big place, right? And so what does someone in Bradford County care about the Chesapeake Bay, or what does someone in Wayne County care about the Delaware River? Well, if you care about your local water resources and you have a passion for that, you're going to care about the water quality there, and it's all going to have benefits downstream. So projects like this are connecting a whole new generation of people to the water. I would bet if you polled the people here that are here in their kayaks on any one of those summer weekends, I would bet a majority of them had never boated before they got their first kayak. So it's really connected a whole new generation to the water. Two of the groups that you guys have, really just two of the tops absolutely in the state. We work with groups across Pennsylvania. Next week we're going to be hosting a number of land trusts at our office for one of their annual meetings, but the Brandywine Conservancy and Natural Lands are absolutely at the top. You guys live with them, right? Because you see the signs and they're here all the time. You should know the reputations that they have statewide are impeccable, and they really are two of the best. So with that, I'll have Grant DaCosta from the Brandywine Conservancy say a few remarks, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me today and able to celebrate with you all. As Tim said, I think what we're here talking about today is quality in many regards, the quality of life that we have in the Brandywine Watershed, both in Pennsylvania and not forgetting our downstream neighbors in Delaware, who are actively concerned and involved in the water quality up here, whether it's for drinking water or the flood waters that they receive. We're also talking about a quality of place. We're able to really enjoy the ongoing investments that are made for our natural resources here in Pennsylvania. First, with the preservation and creation of Shawsbridge Park. Then we're talking about the excellent stewardship work that East Bradford Township has done, both through the vision of the supervisors and then the execution of staff that has made this such a gem along the Brandywine. And then we're looking at the quality of the partnerships that brought together the resources and needs to create this project, and even reaching out to an Eagle Scout who I imagine is going to be able to appreciate this for many years to come. As an Eagle Scout myself, I enjoy going back to visit my own project with my children. Yes, they say, Dad, do we have to go see the bridge again? Yes, we have to see the bridge again. So this is something you should be proud about, and you are contributing to the quality that we have here. We're also talking about the quality of place, and as Tim mentioned, a lot of people have discovered boating and water recreation for the first time, and we know that a lot of these people discovered what we've known for many years during COVID, and our resources were really challenged to provide enough for them, but we know how important this was to everybody's mental health, and that we had so many new advocates and supporters for our work. And as a nonprofit, like my colleagues at Natural Lands know, that is fundamental to what we do. So for the state, our elected officials to be able to make the resources available to the Fish and Boat Commission, not only through funding but technical assistance to make things like this happen, so that these new fans of this great open space have the opportunity to continue to recreate and appreciate whatever brought them to this sport today. Many of whom we are excited to welcome out of the creek as they leave at the Brandywine Museum of Art, the other half of my organization, about 5 miles downstream, where we have our boat access. And that quality, once again, where we have people that we welcome into the museum to look at the incredible works of art, many of whom were by Andrew Wyeth, painting the river much as it looks today. Once again, thanks to the quality work that everybody's doing and the partnerships that have resulted in so much success in protecting these important resources. Once again, the funding from William Penn Foundation that has made the Brandywine Creek Greenway possible, one of the programs that the Conservancy is proud to coordinate. And then East Bradford really has been a leader in the Greenway with getting things on the ground, ordinances to protect the resource, connecting people to the resource. And now with this signage here is also an element where we've created some wayfinding standards for water access along the Brandywine Creek Water Trail. So not only do we publicize use, but also safety on it. So we can once again welcome people here to recreate in a safe way, and we look forward to many more examples like this fine one we have here to welcome people onto the Brandywine. Thank you.
Thanks, great. And our last speaker will be Estelle Wynne-Dolan from Natural Lands.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Tim and Rich, for inviting me to attend this. I wear a couple different hats at Natural Lands. I work on new land protection projects, but I also am the administrator for the Pico Green Region Open Space Program, which is an annual grant provided to municipalities within Pico's service territory, which is Chester, Bucks, Delaware, Montgomery, and Philadelphia counties. They're very proud to be a part of this project, especially with the attention it's gotten. And the program was originally instituted just for this purpose, to provide a match to other grants and work to have partnerships develop among agencies to develop projects such as this. Natural Lands has had the privilege of administering the Green Region program since 2004. So next year we're going into our 20th year of providing this kind of support to municipalities in Southeast PA. And I want to mention that East Bradford Township's award is actually from the 2019 round, which meant that the funding came in the spring of 2020 at the height of the COVID debacle, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's worth noting that, while visitorship went up, many projects faltered and this one did not. And so now we have a resource that those numbers that have not come down as far as visitorship can enjoy. Green Region was designed as a means of providing funding to municipalities for the enhancement of publicly accessible natural areas, such as trail implementation, management plan development, and facility improvement, such as this one, which now we have improved and increased amount of public water access. We're especially pleased that East Bradford Township was able to build in the riparian buffer plantings that you see. These trees are also part of the funding they received from the Green Region grant. It'll help to stabilize the banks and also revegetate the disturbed areas. As has been mentioned by my colleagues here, that there was a lot of erosion beforehand, so this is excellent to see. We look forward to learning more and hearing more about the increased usage of this area and the increased safety in that usage. And it's all about getting people outside and having them appreciate nature so that we can work to preserve our environment better. So congratulations again to East Bradford Township. Thank you to the Fish and Boat Commission for providing their grant as well so that this could come together. And the Eagle Scout. I have 2 Scouts in my house. One's 13. I might steal design elements from you. This is such as you borrow them from elsewhere. This is beautiful. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
So to wrap it up, I do want to point out Fish and Boat Commission staff here. I mentioned that our boating facility grant program will open today. We'll be accepting applications through December 30th for projects like this. Please spread the word. We already started talking with Representative Pielli about how we could share this news with other municipalities in Chester County about the availability of the funding. But Scott Bollinger, if you want to raise your hand, Scott Bollinger, Mark McLaughlin on our boating staff. In the back, we have Andy Desco, one of our local educators, Sean Ray, who's a local waterways conservation officer, and Kaylee Glock is our legislative liaison. Any one of us can help you out, and in particular, these 2 guys who helped them run the grant program. I think I'll end by saying when we were in Wilmington last week, Martha Williams, who's the Fish and Wildlife Director, she's the former Montana Fish and Wildlife Director and is now in D.C., she made the point that these are projects that the community wants. Like, no one made East Bradford Township apply for this grant. No one made, Brandywine or Natural Lands do this. I mean, they're responding to what the communities are looking for and are being responsive to the constituents. So just thank you for stepping up to do that. And I will end by saying this is, if there's anything you remember other than that the sign is probably the best part of the project, it's to wear your life jacket. I really do mean that. Please, 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 if you remember nothing else, wear your life jacket. Every year, about 80% of the boating fatalities are as a result of people not wearing their life jacket. It is the law. And so when Sean or Bob Bonney, a lot of you probably know Bob Bonney from northern Chester County, if they approach you on the water and if you don't have your life jacket, you'll probably get cited for that. I mean, it is the law to have it. That's one thing. Sometimes, you want to give a little leeway, but that's one that it's tough to give leeway on. You have to have your life jacket in your boat. But but you need to wear your life jacket. Before I had this job, I never wore my life jacket. And people, when I say that, they sort of like, I can't believe you admitted that. Well, I'm admitting it, and I bet if you were honest, you'd probably admit it too. I wear my life jacket all the time now, because when my cell phone rings at 6 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, and it's somebody from our law enforcement bureau, I mean, I literally get chills and get a little tearful at the time, because I know what that call is going to be about. It's 6 o'clock on a Friday evening for a boating fatality. So please wear your life jacket. Reminder that the rules for boating under the influence are the same as driving under the influence. Boating, BUI and DUI is the same. So please don't drink and boat. Please wear your life jacket and come home safely to your family and friends. That concludes the remarks right now. We are going to get the ceremonial golden paddle, and at that point, I'm going to turn over to Mike Parker to guide us through that.
Tim, we just have a ribbon over there, so
Yep.
I'd like to invite anybody, including our speakers and anyone else who would like to get in for the photo.
All right, so we'll all count down together. 3, 2, 1, snip, okay? All right, 3, 2, 1.